So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video we will be discussing directly acting sympathomimetics. So as you know, this is your synapse. In this synapse, as I told you, the adrenoreceptors that are acting on the postsynaptic membrane, they can be alpha receptors, they can be beta receptors, they can be dopamine receptors. And the type of drug which acts on the alpha receptor, the beta receptors and the dopamine receptors and activates their function, it is known as the agonist for that receptor. So certain there are drugs, they are specifically acting on a certain receptor. So for example, in alpha receptor you have alpha 1 and alpha 2 type of grouping. An alpha 1 agonist is a type of drug that mimics the action of the drug that is going to activate the alpha 1 receptor specifically. For that we have two drugs, phenylephrine and midodrine. Phenylephrine, it is actually not a catechol derivative. When it is not a catechol derivative, it cannot be metabolized with this catechol O-methyl transferase enzyme. Because it's not a catechol, it cannot be metabolized by this enzyme. Because it is not metabolized, it has longer duration of action. And because it acts on alpha 1 agonist, and you know alpha 1 is activity on the blood vessels, on the bladder, prostate, on these piloerector motor muscles, and on the eye, iris muscles. So what will happen? It will cause mydriatic effect on the eye. In the blood vessels, it will cause decongestant action. And similarly, when it will contract the blood vessel, it will raise the blood pressure. So these things are seen in alpha 1 agonist phenylephrine. Also remember, alpha 1 type of receptor, it is G stimulatory and it has increased cyclic AMP activity. Same goes for midodrine. Midodrine is actually the prodrug. When it is given in the body, after 1 hour, it gets converted into desglyamidodrine. So this desglyamidodrine, because it is very much potent and it's a prodrug that can be used in orthostatic hypotension treatment. As you know, alpha 1 receptors, whenever you are acting on the alpha 1 receptor, they cause increase in blood pressure. So whenever this increase in blood pressure is produced, it can be used in the treatment, and that treatment is to treat orthostatic hypotension. When you are sitting up and your blood pressure suddenly drops, that is orthostatic hypotension. So midodrine can be used in the treatment of this orthostatic hypotension. But whenever you have given the patient midodrine and the patient is now sitting in this laying down in the supine position, supine is like laying down on the bed. In that situation, if the person is not getting up and not sitting, the person will develop hypertension. Why? Because he was not even facing hypotension, and you have given a type of drug that is causing vasoconstriction, so it leads to more vasoconstriction, increased blood pressure, and hence hypertension. And similar, this was written that whenever you give midodrine, after 1 hour, that midodrine, the prodrug, gets converted into desglyamidodrine, and this occurs after 1 hour. So this was very easy thing. Then we have directly acting alpha agonists. This directly acting alpha agonist, it is oxymetallazine. This oxymetallazine is given as a topical decongestant, and it promotes the constriction of vessels in nasal mucosa and conjunctiva. Actually, this directly acting oxymetallazine, it is a type of vasoconstrictor. And when vasoconstrictor acts, what it does, it causes the vasoconstriction of the nasal mucosal vessels, of the conjunctival vessels, and hence you get this topical decongestant effect. I hope you understood that thing. Now we will go to alpha 2 agonist. Alpha 2, as you know, it is a G inhibitory type of action, and it causes decrease in cyclic AMP. So anything that attaches to the alpha 2 receptor, it has a sympatholytic activity. It will break down the activities produced by alpha 1. So sympatholytic, we have three classes, we have divided them into. One is this clonidine, methyl dopa, guanfacine, and guanbens. Similarly, the other one is tizanidine, and the third one is dexmedetomidine. So one is the C group, the other is T group, other is D group. So the C group, which includes CMG, that is clonidine, methyl dopa, and guanfacine and guanbens, because it is sympatholytic. So alpha 1, what it does, it causes vasoconstriction, it increases blood pressure. So sympatholytic means it will reverse the action. So hence alpha 2 agonist will cause decreased blood pressure. So hence alpha 2 agonist can be used in the treatment of hypertension. But they have a side effect, that is sedation, that is inducing sleep. Similarly, tizanidine is a muscle relaxant and it's a centrally acting muscle relaxant. When you go to the D group, that is dexamethatomidine. This dexamethatomidine has sedative effect. This sedation, it is very much useful because it decreases the requirement of using opioids for pain control. So this was all about alpha receptor, their specific agonist and their directly acting agonist. That was alpha 1 agonist. Alpha 1 included phenylephrine and midodrine, and in certain amount the oxymetallazine that is used as a nasal decongestant. The phenylephrine, it was very much potent, it was used as midratic. The midodrine to treat orthostatic hypotension. The alpha 2 agonists, they act as sympatholytics. They have been classified into the C group, T group and the D group. The C group, the CMG, that is clonidine, methyl dopa, guanfacine and guanbens. Because they are going to reverse the activities produced by alpha 1, so what will happen? They will, since alpha 1 causes increased blood pressure, so they will decrease the blood pressure. So they will be used in the treatment of hypertension, but they have a side effect of sedation. This similar sedative side effect is produced by the D group, that is dexmedetomidine. The dexmedetomidine, it causes sedation and it causes less use of opioids or less requirement of the opioids for pain control. And then the T group, that is tizanidine, it is used as a centrally acting muscle relaxant. I hope you understood the alpha receptor and their proper agonist. Now we will go to the beta receptors. I hope the whole thing is visible. So now the beta receptor, they can have their agonists which are non-selective. They can have their beta 1 selective or beta 2 selective. So non-selective is isoproterenol. This isoproterenol, it causes equal effects on beta 1 and beta 2 receptors, and it is vasodilatory in action. Because it acts on beta 1, it causes positive inotropic effect, increased heart contractility, increased systolic blood pressure, increased cardiac output. The beta 2, it causes positive chronotropic effect, that is increased heart rate. But because beta 2 has vasodilatory effect, and as I told you, in vasodilatory effect, what happens? The thing is that your total peripheral resistance decreases. So systolic blood pressure is still there, but diastolic blood pressure tends to decrease. So the mean blood pressure increases. That thing is produced by the activation of beta 2 receptors, and it is a part of isoproterenol action. In isoproterenol action, the beta 1, it produces systolic blood pressure increase or diastolic also, but beta 2, it causes systolic increase but diastolic decrease, and hence increasing the mean blood pressure or mean arterial pressure. Increasing the mean blood pressure but decreasing the mean arterial pressure because diastolic blood pressure has decreased. So this thing is observed by activation of beta 2. Now beta 1 selective, it is dobutamine. Beta 1 selective, and as you know, beta 1 has effects on heart as well as on kidneys. So because it acts on heart, it has positive, which type of effect? Positive inotropic type of effect. Now what happens actually is that dobutamine is given in the form of racemic mixture. It has positive isomer and a negative isomer in equal quantities. The positive isomer, it is a beta 1 agonist, so it is going to increase beta 1 activity, but it is also a alpha 1 antagonist. So positive isomer is beta 1 agonist and alpha 1 antagonist, and hence it has positive ionotropic effect, and that positive ionotropic effect is increasing heart's contraction. When you go to negative isomer, that is alpha 1 agonist. And what does alpha 1 do? It causes vasoconstriction. So peripheral resistance it is going to whenever the alpha 1 agonist is going to act, it is going to cause vasoconstriction on its own. So now they are saying the positive isomer, it is beta 1 agonist and alpha 1 antagonist. Similarly, negative one is alpha 1 agonist. So they are saying that because it has positive ionotropic effect, and because we have given the negative isomer which has this vasoconstrictive effect, the peripheral resistance does not decrease in beta 1 selective action. Also, because it has positive ionotropic effect, and ionotropic means increased force of contraction. Whenever your heart is contracting with increased force, what will happen? The amount of blood it is pushing out will also increase. That is, it will have a cardiac output being increased. And there is no decrease in diastolic blood pressure observed because there is no vasodilation. There is no decrease in total peripheral resistance observed. Hence, cardiac output will increase, as well as diastolic blood pressure will increase, as well as systolic blood pressure will increase. This is the effect of dobutamine. Right? Next we go to beta 2 selective, and beta 2, the locations of this. Beta 2 receptor has a lot of locations, but the most potent location over here is bronchus, and in bronchus it causes bronchodilation. So this albuterol, which is a beta 2 selective drug, it can be used as a drug of choice in the treatment of this asthma. So beta receptor, beta non-selective, equal effect on B1, B2, isoproterenol. It causes increased systolic blood pressure but decreased diastolic blood pressure and decreased mean arterial pressure. Dobutamine acts on the heart, has positive ionotropic effect, but because it does not have this vasodilatory effect counteracting it, so total peripheral resistance also increases because of this vasoconstrictive effect. So it will cause increased cardiac output, increased systolic blood pressure and increased diastolic blood pressure. And beta 2 selective major work is in the treatment of asthma, and the drug is albuterol. Isoproterenol, dobutamine, albuterol, three things. And above we had alpha. In alpha 1 we had phenylephrine and midodrine. In alpha 2 we have major thing is clonidine, but you can remember C group, D group and T group. The C group, the clonidine CMG, clonidine, methyl dopa, and the guanfacine and guanbens, they three are used in treatment of hypertension but produce sedation. The D group, the dexmedetomidine, that was used to produce sedation to decrease the requirement of opioids. And T group is tizanidine. Tizanidine is used as a centrally acting muscle relaxant. I hope you understood that directly acting sympathomimetics that are going to act on this whole thing. I tried my best to explain each and everything to you. I hope you understood. If you do, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and keep on watching for more such fun and more such fun stuff that you can remember all the pharmacology with these flowcharts in very short amount of time, inshallah.